Welcome to part second of the video titled Block Trading, the Most Fraudulent Practice. History is witness that accounting and investment banking, I repeat, accounting and investment banking are most fraudulent in nature. The more you entered into accounting and investment banking, the sequence of frauds would unearth. And you will feel like, what the hell the regulator is doing. Remember, regulator is always an unknowledgeable person compared to others. But we will discuss this in detail later. So guys, I will give you a simplistic example about the block trading. Block trading, so let's make a hypothetical example. There is a private equity firm called PEX. I repeat, PEX, who holds 30% stake in a hospital. I repeat, there is a private equity firm called PEX who hold 30% stake in a hospital. Now this hospital is built up and it is in profit. They invested at a valuation of 100 billion. Today the valuation is 2 billion and they wanted to quit. Now if that private equity because private equity are the people who believe in profits, they hardly bother about the company. They believe that their job is done. They invested at 100 million valuation and now it is 2 billion valuation, which means their job is done. Now they need to sell their whole 30% stake in that hospital to the investor. But the biggest question that came, who would be arranging that investor or investors? That's a bloody point. And that job goes to investment bankers. Like top investment bankers include Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan Chase, your Morgan Stanley and all. They are the one who get this job. But that's not easy because private equity firm will have an objective. We assume the name PEX. PEX will tell to Goldman, JP and Morgan Stanley, I want a share price of $35. Now Goldman need to see how he would be selling this. Now there are two forms of deal Goldman can do. Number one shot. They will get an investor and sell the whole 30% in one shot and get $35 in their books, which they will pay to private equity, PEX, and get their fees or whatever bonus. But this looks very, very easy. But this isn't easy. Because finding an investor who can invest the whole 30% at in one shot is very, very tough job. So what Goldman will do, Goldman left with two options. Either they break this to 6% each and let's do 6% after every quarter. Now that private equity firm don't have the time. They will say, I don't have the time because you are proposing rather selling 6% in per quarter, which means to complete 30%, I need 5 quarters, which means more than 1 year, which is 15 months. I can't wait for 15 months because 15 months you can have another corona, you can have another geopolitical issue like Russia, Ukraine. You have you can have anything. So I can't wait for 15 months. I wanted to offload my 30% stake now. Now Goldman is in trouble. Goldman will say, okay, I have two options. I cannot let the client go. And that's the beauty of investment banking. You need to make sure that client would always be in your pocket. But sometimes you need to break the barrier. One MDB scandal, and history is witness of multiple scandals by multiple US based banks. Anyways, Goldman will say, why don't we do one thing? Let me buy this 30% stake. Now let me buy this 30% stake and I will give you $35 per share, which I agreed. And now it's my problem how I would be selling this 30%. Or probably I might be holding this 30% for a longer period of time. Probably another 5 years, another 6 years, another 10 years, something like this. Private equity firm have no problem. Private equity firm will say, I am the most happiest person. You give me $35 per stock and do what you like. This is first. Other is Goldman will create a syndication. And what the hell is syndication? Goldman will say, I alone cannot sell 30% in the market. Probably because of the valuation issue, probably because the market is not deeply discounted, and so many issues. Let me create a syndication. Let me give 2% to each bank. And let me have 15 banks. As we speak, the interbank market holds near about 6,000 banks. For a big bank like Goldman Sachs, finding 15 banks and 20% per 2% per bank, 15 into 2%, which means 30%, is nothing. It is nothing for Goldman Sachs. This is syndication. But when it comes to syndication, there are facilities that need to be signed by Goldman Sachs with other bank. I'm not saying that all these facilities to sign at the same point of time. And Goldman will get all these facilities. So let me study for you. One is the revolving credit facility. One is the standby facility, transferable loan facility, multi-currency loan facility, bidding facilities, acceptance credit facilities, mezzanine finance facilities, evergreen facilities. But why I'm talking about facility? That's very important. Did you notice that? Because suppose the valuation of that 30% is 2 billion. It is not easy for Goldman to spare 2 billion from their pocket and give this to this private equity. Goldman will raise this 2 billion. It could be any commercial paper, it could be certificate of deposit, it could be issuance of the short, long or mid-term bonds. They would be raising this 2 billion, estimating how much interest they would be paying and how much money they would be making, including or excluding the fees if they would holding this stock for a longer period of time. Now these facilities will matter. Let me study for you. Revolving credit facility, standby facility, transferable loan facility, multi-currency loan facility, bidding facility, acceptance facilities, mezzanine finance facilities, and evergreen facilities. That's a bloody point. But there is a condition. And what the hell is condition? That condition is the hospital owner who still holds 70% of the stake, because 30% he gave this to private equity firm. And now hospital owner will say, Though Goldman bought 30% from that private equity firm, but that doesn't mean that Goldman will sell this 30% in one go, which means he would be having one important thing which is called lock in. He will say Goldman has to wait for 6 months before selling this stock, all 30% in one go, because the hospital owner feared that if Goldman would be selling the whole at one go, then it would have a serious trouble for that hospital owner. That's the main point. He would be having the lock ins. That's very important point. And here comes the complexity, because Goldman need to read lock-ins carefully. He need to understand the waiting period carefully. He need to understand the impact of financing cost, because this 2 billion which he paid to private equity firm for 30% stake is not from their pocket, is by an investor pocket. So Goldman needs to understand that also. Henceforth, the block trades are never been easy the way you look at it. See you in the last part, part 3.